Today, we are going to talk about very, very interesting topic, how AI is changing B2B marketing.
We also had an AI ideathon, so anybody in the marketing department could submit an idea.
As a product marketing manager, right, my main goal is to change perception about my product.
We can give our users one-to-one unique experience. It's essentially a website created for them.
Because of AI or because of Quickseat, what has happened is I don't want to go out and look at some other benchmark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the B2B Marketing Leaders podcast. And today we are going to talk about very, very interesting topic on how AI is changing B2B marketing. And today with me, there are some bright and amazing experts from tech companies. So please introduce yourself. Let's start with like in a circle with Sabari. Yeah, please start.
Hey, hi Olga. I'm Sabari. I work as a product marketing manager for Kubernetes at AWS. Been in the B2B tech space for 8 years now. Started as a performance marketing manager and eventually found my way into product marketing. So that's me.
That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, Maddie? Please.
Hi, my name is Maddie, and I'm currently a digital marketing specialist at ModMed. I've been in marketing for about 5 years. I previously started sort of on the social media side of things, and then I worked at an advertising agency. And now I work for a company called ModMed, and it's a B2B company that sells EHR software to doctors, and we work with private practices across 11 different specialties.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, Alex?
Hey everyone, great to be here. So my name is Alexei or Alex. I'm director of demand generation at a company called Cast AI, and I'm smiling because we are optimizing Kubernetes. So saying hi to Sabari and AWS.
Yeah.
I've been in marketing for about 15 years, I think. Similar Web, SEMrush. I'm currently leading the demand gen team here at Cast.
Yeah, great.
Happy to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Yeah, thank you. And Parth?
Hey everyone, my name is Parth, and I've been into the B2B space for about 5 years. I started off from a marketing agency, so I was working with multiple different clients for B2B. Then I transitioned into in-house. I was working for JFrog, which is an Artifactory solutions company, a B2B SaaS company, and I was working there as a growth marketing manager for about 3 years. And then later on, now I transitioned into Amazon. So I work for Amazon Global Communications over here, and I work as a marketing manager. So I have been in this space for the last 5 years or so.
Amazing. So such bright and interesting people here. So thank you for coming. And my first question to you would be, are you techno optimists or techno pessimists? What do you think?
Can I be techno realist, in between?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so I would vote for this one, something in the middle. But I think in general, we're living now through the most meaningful technology shift of our life. I think in general, it's like electricity or I don't know, whatever you think of it. So yeah, it's something that would change our life in general. And if you do not adapt to this, then the world will make you adapt. You will have to eventually.
You're optimistic a little bit, I believe.
I kind of like that answer of being realistic because I 100% agree AI is going to change a lot. It's helping all of us be power users of a lot of different things that we probably never ever imagined using, whether it's coding tools or something as marketers we've never used. But at the same point, the reason I say realist is because we need to ensure we take care of certain guardrails. There's still issues with how AI hallucinates with a lot of different things. So with looking at that, I still don't see a lot of empathetic content being put out by AI. Not to forget the human psychology that comes with what we do in our space, right? Like marketing. So with that being said, I 100% agree. I'm optimistic, but more of a techno-realistic, like Alexi. So 100% agree.
Yeah, me too, I believe. Yeah.
I mean, I would also kind of align with the same idea of being more realistic because, I would say that optimism is where when we use AI as a co-pilot rather than completely relying on it, because as of today there are a lot of uncontrolled deployments when it comes to privacy, accuracy, and also related to a lot of brand risk. So, Amazon has a saying that, customer obsession is like one of the major key principles for anybody at Amazon. And when we put customer at front, AI cannot understand the customer really well at this point in time. So I think so being more realistic in this particular scenario is kind of very important.
So don't trust 100%. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And my next question to you is about B2B marketing. How AI is currently used in your company's marketing processes?
There are different, part, although he's at Amazon, I'm at AWS, we basically, I think, fall in the same marketing organizations. Our domains are different, like our day-to-day operations slightly differ. And mostly at Amazon, we use a lot of internal tools, right? Like we don't have to rely on anything external. But I see day to day, I work with a lot of peer teams, like 16 to 17 different peer teams. Some teams are working on like analytics, right? Like AI has been used in analyzing data. I personally use it in a lot of my day to day work, like segmenting data, writing reports. It's like analyzing customer related feedback. It's just making things easier, but most of these tools are like internal AWS tools that we're using. So if I am okay to promote, it's like Amazon's quick suite. That's literally what I use at this point.
I mean,
Thank you.
I would say that I have a very similar answer to it, because I mean, I would say this transition has happened from 2025 is Amazon only promoting internal tools. They are strictly against external tools, and they're actually trying to build internal tools in such a fashion that anybody working at Amazon has every relevant information about the data inside of Amazon, which kind of makes it a more secured space. Even if you are trying to experiment, try to do ideation, trying to do hypothesis or analysis, it kind of becomes more easy for you, because you can pick any data and kind of feed it into the AI and kind of get insights or answers to any of your questions, rather than me picking the data and putting into some other AI tool like ChatGPT or Perplexity. It kind of is a threat for us, in terms of internal users, because we are feeding our data to some other company, which we don't want to do. And I think so that kind of becomes very easy and important for us as people working at Amazon.
Yeah, and risks again. Yeah, and risks and safety. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. So, Alex or Mehdi, would you like to share as well how AI is used?
Yeah, sure. So I'm 100% agree with the security component of it, and we have I think Claude Enterprise, and it's kind of locked, so you cannot go share information outside of the company. But in general, I was thinking of how we are using AI now, because there are so many angles, and I would group this into like maybe three big buckets. One, everything related to research and insights, like call analysis, feedback, like anything, like all of the research and insight work. Second, content creation was all drag. So now we can hyper personalize any outbound emails or whatnot, knowing all of this context on the fly, literally, which saves like tons of hours and days of work. And third, I would just name it like chief of staff, like everything else. So all of the internal processes, we submit a task in Asana, then it goes there, curate, the AI takes it and converts to something. So all of this stuff now just becomes way faster. So these three main groups we use.
Yeah, I think you covered most of the main scenarios, AI related scenarios. Thank you. And Mehdi, would you like to add something?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have a slightly different answer. So currently at ModMed Marketing, I mean, we primarily are still kind of in the phase of relying on ChatGPT and Gemini, for things like productivity and research, but we have yet to kind of find those tools that we found, useful for executing tasks. However, we're onboarding a copywriting tool to help us scale copywriting for marketing. So that is one area where we started to invest, but it's been a slow rollout. I think the governance around AI and the policy internally has sort of taken a very measured approach in how we allow employees to use AI at our company. And I think a lot of it has to do with the privacy and security concerns.
Yeah, that's true. It's not so easy. And I believe that you've mentioned several tools you are using in the company, but maybe there are some more tools you would like to mention and maybe recommend, or you're not going to recommend them to others. So, in your AI stack and your marketing team, so would you like to
Yeah.
mention other tools?
Yeah. So, for example, right now we're onboarding a tool called Jasper.ai. I don't know if any of you have used it or if you have any reviews on that, but we're basically using that to scale copywriting and content creation in a way that is like aligned with our brand values. Also, Gemini, we have that integrated into our Google Workspace. So, Gmail, Drive, Google Meet, which definitely helps improve efficiency and helping us summarize emails and notes and conversations. We also use Drift, which is an AI powered chatbot on our website, and that allows people that come there to book a demo. And then we also have like agency partnerships that have unlocked AI powered tools for us. So, for example, we work with an agency that has ChatGPT with a SpyFu integration, which helps us do keyword research and also pulls real data around volume, difficulty, keyword intent. So, it's definitely a combination of AI insight and then the actual metrics that matter to us and leveraging those partnerships that we have to help us do that.
Sounds great. Yeah. And agencies, they are offering their AI agents to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So this is a question to everybody. Would you like to mention some other tools in your marketing stack? I mean, AI tools you use? Yeah.
I would say honestly that AI is now integrated in every tool. So everything that you're using before, I don't know, HubSpot, Salesforce, you name it, now has anything AI. So even Zapier, like I think yesterday I was building a Zap, like in Zapier, something very quickly, again, internally, kind of achieve stuff. And it was like, hey Zapier, could you please do this and that? And boom, 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 boom. What yesterday took me 3 hours, now literally 5 minutes. So these things. But on top of what Matt said, like Zapier and then we have actually a pretty cool thing called Webless. Webless, it's in startup from San Francisco, I think they're based. We have it integrated on the website, and it has all of the docs, all of the blogs, like all of the content we gave it. And it works as a sort of a chatbot, but it's not a chatbot in the, how to say, in the traditional way. Like you just asking a question and you know that this is AI, but and you know that this AI will answer based off all of the content that company shared, like our company shared with as well. So you can see we can give our users one-to-one unique experience. It's essentially a website created for them. They're like, hey, I'm using AWS. Like, can we use Castilla with AWS? Boom. And they don't need to call us. They don't need to interact with, I don't know, anyone else. They just can have this right in front of them with a CTA. Yes, like we use AWS, book a call, like start free right now. That's a great thing. Really love it.
Yeah, great level of personalization. Yeah. Sabari, you wanted to also mention something?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm amazed at the number of tools, but honestly, I like Path will agree. Like a lot of these things, for us is internally enabled just by using like Amazon's Quick Suite. But for me, I think the main part is not these tools, but as B2B marketers, like how are we using these tools, right? Like for an example, one project that I worked on was literally writing like 33 scripts in like a very short time frame, and these scripts were like LinkedIn long form, LinkedIn short form, YouTube scripts. It was for Twitter, for Instagram, right? Like very short time frame, aggressive timelines for delivery. I was working with external content creators, and there are like number of parameters. There's SEO, there is platform SEO, there's keyword SEO, then there is like your messaging. So how do you integrate all of these things into all these 33 assets, right? So it was very simple for me. Internally, the tool QuickSuite, like I said, uses allows us to build these custom agents. Like just think of it as like your small language model, right? Like, and I felt like, hey, this is my SEO checklist. This is my platform algorithm checklist. This is my messaging checklist, right? Like all these assets ensure they're vetted against everything. Give me a copy, and then eventually I could add the finishing, the human touches to it. But it accelerated my work by 10x. So I think like these use cases are very powerful for me as a marketer. That would
Mhm.
be my addition. And I'm sorry,
Agree.
I can't name tools because we literally rely on like this one giant internal tool for everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
We
mean,
have literally the same. Sorry, we have exactly the same thing. We have it's kind of a writing assistant, a custom model that we've created, and we gave it all of the SEO checklists, positioning, messaging, I see like everything, and then like, hey, I need to craft this, and based off all of this context, the tool gives you the content that you can just work with, and then slightly adjust and publish wherever needed. Agree.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you. And Bart wanted to.
yeah,
Mhm.
I would say that like we inside of Amazon we only use QuickSuite as one of our AI tool, but I work with external agencies and external vendors who definitely use a lot more AI tools that than we do, for ad copywriting, for SEO content writing, for YouTube script writing, so on and so forth. So one a good tool, there is an agency that we work with in EU. They use a tool called as translate.ai. So that tool is very good when it comes to doing live translation of your script into multiple different languages. So I work for doing full. So we have fulfillment centers across 53 global locations, wherein we are actually helping Amazon uplift its brand reputation. So over there, we want to translate them into like 5, 6, 7 different languages. And initially, it used to kind of take us a lot of time to do it because for Japanese, we need somebody who is expert in from somebody in Japan, or from somebody in France for French, something like that. But now, because of this tool, it literally like took our time down to like maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then I have like 4-5 different scripts ready with different language translations done. But of course, that is something that we don't use. We have an external agency who does it for us, but it's like a very good tool that they use, and they actually help us out in our day-to-day work.
Mhm. Yeah, sounds amazing and saves a lot of time and budget, I believe. Yeah. And do you use AI for example, video content or visual content creation?
Right now, I mean, I actually did an experiment a couple of months back, working with Shutterstock to actually create any content wherein we can do video AI integration. But Amazon has very strict policies on not having anything on video, which is AI. So they want real humans to actually be on the video, so that we are not kind of creating an image in front of our customers that that it is not realistic. So that is the reason AI has like Amazon has very strict policies around not using AI on video advertising. So that is the reason we just dropped that idea of doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. And also, I am personally a bit wary of like seeing so much AI generated stuff that I've stopped believing what's true and what's not.
Yeah.
But I think where I, like again, for a lot of the video scripts that I work on, where AI literally helps us is, like faster iterations of scripts, or like, um, asking questions multiple times that, hey, I don't like this angle, give me another angle, right? Like these are areas where I think, in terms of video script generation, it helps us. But again, for images, we like we're not using much. I still like the real. I would still like to see a real human behind whatever has been spoken. Again,
Mhm.
that's my take.
Also, video editing is a huge thing. Like we're like every month, I would say we do a podcast, and only kind of a webinar, you can call it. And normally it took me like a couple hours to video it, just remove all of the filler words and all of this stuff. Now you just click a button, and this script is doing this for you, relatively cheap, literally 2 minutes, and it's done.
Can you
So
recommend the tool?
yeah, Descript, we're using Descript.
A script.
It's a great
Uh-huh.
thing. Yeah, super cool. We love it. plus all of the interviews. Like it's super easy to transcribe them all and have it. Going back to the SEO part, you have a webinar, you quickly remove all of this stuff, make it shorter. Then you have the transcription, you upload this on YouTube, publish it on your page as a video plus the transcript below, so it works for LLM to crawl it eventually. Then hey writing assistant, could you please create the recap? So yeah, absolutely love it.
Yeah, sounds great. Maybe we'll use it for this episode. We'll see. Yeah. And Maddie, would you like to add something on visual generation, visual content generation?
Yeah, I think a couple things came up for me too. Like one, the authenticity piece of it. I definitely think as well we've hesitated to kind of go in that direction because we want to, just be real and like be human. Like at the end of the day, it is about patients and doctors and the relationship and the trust and the care between those two things. So unless it's like an animated video of some type, I don't imagine we would ever want to use AI to produce content for video specifically. And then the other aspect of it is I've heard a lot about these tools too that can cut out the filler words and edit things and chop them up for YouTube Shorts or TikToks or short form content in general. So I think that's super exciting and that's something that I'm definitely pushing internally to kind of get in the game of short form content.
Yeah. It's important now. I think everyone watches this kind of format. Yeah, great. And let's talk about a little bit of training of your marketing teams with to work with AI. Do you have these kind of processes in your marketing team that someone trains the teams and or teaches them how to use AI? So please tell more about that.
I mean, I would say that in Amazon there are two different ways on how you can get trained on AI. One is uh, we have in each team what we have is we have somebody called as the influencer of AI who helps within the team to kind of who has better knowledge to kind of do peer-to-peer review and kind of give more knowledge out to them. And what we do as a team is every week before we start off the team meeting, we make sure that we share AI tips and tricks with the team so that, on a daily basis, everybody's working in silos, but everybody kind of comes together and kind of talks more about how they used AI in their day to day work in the past week or past month, however it is. And a very good benefit of working at Amazon is like they have something called as AIML University, wherein you can actually book sessions and you can go and talk to industry experts who might not be there in your own team, but they are working in Gen AI teams or they are working in some other teams who are like hands-on on AI LLM working models, and they can actually help you understand how you can better your work using AI on a day-to-day basis. And then I think so that is something that everybody's kind of taking a lot of advantage of. We have sessions, I think so every month there are like 4 or 5 different slots that you can go talk to them and learn more about how you can use AI on your day to day. Maybe it is an internal tool like quick speed, you want to ask more information, you are doing things in a certain way and you want to understand how I can better my work, or there is some other external tool that you want to grasp knowledge of. You can definitely go ahead and talk to people who are hands on working on all of these processes.
Great, many great opportunities to learn.
Yeah. And then, like, to add to what Pat said, we have these enablement sessions on, like, how to do prompt engineering well, like, what are like government governance and like data related issues, how to use like uh, AI like in your day-to-day tasks. Like, so we have these enablement sessions that happen on a monthly basis. You can just join, plug in, get out. Personally, as a B2B, like, as a marketer in general, right? Like, it's important to understand a lot of these governance policies around AI, especially, like Pat might agree, we work with a lot of fintech and these regulated industries, right? Like, so I personally try to upskill by reading like all these governance data related policies for AI. So
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot to read, a lot of material internally. I also rely on like external like like Stanford has a lot of courses, so like you can just take up a free class.
Mm-hmm. And now it's more and more personal data laws. So yeah, it's important to learn more about that. Okay, Maddie, you wanted to share as well?
Yeah. So yeah, I think training has been pretty intentional. We did a 12 days of AI initiative. It's kind of a spin on like the 12 days of Christmas. But each day it kind of focused on a different AI related topic. And this just was hosted in Slack. We have a channel that has all the employees included. And it just really was a place where each day you could learn a little bit about different tools, terminologies, places you could get certifications, hands on interactive activities that you could participate in. And the goal was just basically to make it feel more accessible rather than intimidating, and just how to use it responsibly as well. We also have a book club called like the Data Literacy Book Club. So on a biweekly basis, I like to attend and just be a fly on the wall and listen in on, what people are talking about, the latest AI news, and then also what we're building internally. We're currently in the process of rolling out our own AI scribe, which is like medical transcription software so that doctors don't have to spend hours after hours, like spending time on notes. So we're working on that, and it's just really interesting to sit in and listen on how that's being built. We also had an AI ideathon, so anybody in the marketing department could submit an idea that was focused on internal operational efficiency. So, for example, like one of the ideas was, automating lead notifications from marketing to sales and enriching that data with better context. And then we also had people go to different conferences. So I attended Inbound by HubSpot, and then I learned a lot about, hey, how is marketing being impacted by AI? How do we up level our go to market strategy? What's important? And then I was able to bring all those insights back and present it to the department. So definitely a lot of learning going on. And yeah, I'm happy that it's kind of been since day one that the company has made it a real mission to get people participating and actively learning.
Yeah, idea generation. And I like that 12 days of Christmas idea of learning different AI tools and tips and tricks. So would you like to add something else? I mean, all of you, or we can jump to the next question. Yeah, on
I think you guys have
training.
already told everything. So on our end, we don't have such a thought out enablement program for we're kind of a small company, about 200 people, and the company is heavily engineering, so they all know AI way better than us. So it's just same as Mary. I'm just being kind of a fly on the wall, listening to what they're doing. So sounds like that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's also great. And then let's talk about the dark side of AI. What kind of maybe concerns, risks, or challenges do you see when it comes to adopting AI across the company? So, of course, we've already mentioned a lot the privacy question and this kind of questions, but maybe there is something else.
So as a product marketing manager, right, like my main goal is to change perception about my product in the industry, which means the kind of messaging, copy, language that goes out for whether it's a feature launch or a feature adoption related campaign, right? It's very important that the words are precise. They consider human sentiments, have empathy, like so. One of my biggest worry, and this is something like it keeps, I've kind of like my guards are literally up since this whole this whole AI system blast has happened, is these vendors relying a lot on external vendors, content creators relying a lot on these tools. We work with them for an influencer campaign, but if a lot of this content is very AI heavy, it kind of goes against the purpose of me changing perception, right? So in those cases my cards are up. I kind of literally re-script everything. So somewhere it's a challenge for me, relying heavily on external people using a lot of AI tools, without really considering the strategy part of it, like the real intent behind what we're doing and what are we trying to convey. So that's my challenge.
I would
yeah.
agree. So
Yeah,
the main maybe not problem, but concern that I have is that now AI is so hyped up. Like everyone, AI is everywhere. And on one hand, it's a great thing. On the other hand, there is a lot of noise. There are a million tools and tools doing the same thing, and you don't really know which tool to start adopting because tomorrow there will be another tool and then another tool, and you don't really know again how to collect all of this together and where to start. Um, so cutting through this noise, I think the most important thing, having a strategy and understanding that, okay, at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. It's not something that will bring you money per se. No, there is no money button. There is a marketer. You still need to find your customer, understand who your customer is, and all of this stuff. So you need to use AI wisely, not just AI for the sake of AI. And by the way, there's going to be another part of it because what I saw, not in our company, because again, we're super technical, but I saw in a couple of examples. Leadership is very hyped up about AI, especially investors, and then like, hey, we need to have AI. Let's do AI. Let's adopt AI. Let's do like there's an AI person in the company that's doing that, which is kind of weird. But if there is a strategy, I think it's a brilliant thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of echoing what everybody said. And, it's the same thing. Like, like for me, when I'm working on marketing for uh, compliance and brand safety, so it kind of becomes very important for us to, have the right language, the right tone, the right claims. Because if I have an ad copy or if I have a content which I just rely on AI and just kind of want it to produce, it will not comply to the brand safety and compliance that I want for a particular brand. And I think so that is one of the major risks when it comes to global communications. We need to be very sure about what is the kind of language do we have when we're communicating to our customers. Number two is, even when we are going back and doing post campaign launch or post data analysis, there is a lot of accuracy issues because whatever data I feed to a particular AI, it has, I don't know, like it thinks that it has the leverage or the convenience of giving me anything just to make me feel better. So which is kind of something that you need to be very aware of. When you're looking at the data, you need to be pretty sure about what data did you feed and whether it is giving you the right response back or no. Uh, and also measurement drift, there can be a lot of hard to know truths or facts about how do you actually measure all of your, whether it can be conversion rate, whether it can be click-through rate, whether it can be how many people actually interacted with a certain product or a landing page of yours and how many conversions you are driving from it, right? So all of this is something that you need to have at the back of your mind before you kind of feed the data to AI and kind of wants it to help you to do something better. And finally, just in terms of shadow AIs that a lot of people do generally use, because in my personal life I use a different tool versus in company I might use a different tool, and that can happen with everybody, right? And because of this, there is a lot of confusion in terms of which AI tool is better and which is not. And I am probably more convinced with some XYZ tool, and I always want to rely on the data that the other tool gives. Wherein the ones that I'm using on a day-to-day basis, maybe I just might feel that it is not that reliable, and I want to jump back and forth. So I think so that is also something that can be a challenge or a risk or a concern that definitely has to be looked into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you need to calculate something, AI is not good in it. Yeah, it's better to maybe write a Python script with AI, yeah, and calculate something than just rely on it. Yeah, good
Kind of
point.
associated too with like the over reliance on AI. I think another side of it is like people's internal fear around their job and their job stability. I think a lot of people feel like, hey, like, is this just going to replace me? And I feel undervalued for my work. And even at times, like, possibly offended. Like, if you were to hand a writer something that was completely generated by AI and just ask them to approve it, um, that can be really difficult. And so I think a lot of the conversation at my company as well is how do we position AI more as a partner that makes people better at their jobs and not something that is to replace them or undermine their skill set and their expertise.
Yeah. Sometimes they can be intimidated a little bit by AI. Yeah, makes sense. Have you been in this kind of situations when you thought about using AI and you decided, no, we are not going to?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a very recent experience. So I was working on a sensitive launch, a sensitive feature launch. And by sensitive, it was something that would change pricing perception. And, by perception, again, a lot of what I do is like putting messages out, promotions for, getting my feature adopted, right? So in that case, we realized like AI will give factually correct information, copy, but it doesn't again consider what the customer is going to perceive this message as, right? Like it might upset them related to the price point. So in such cases we consider not using AI for like creating promotional materials. Again, this is just one recent example I can think of. Like, pricing is a very big human, I would say, emotion. People are very skeptical when it comes to like anything related to money. So um, that is one
Mhm.
example where we decided not to rely on AI for anything for promoting
Mhm.
this.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, this case makes sense. Mhm.
I mean, I would say that anything requiring customer level data or proprietary information of a particular customer, it is like unapproved, or not. It is better not to use any AI because customer information is very sensitive, and you need to be very responsible enough when you are handling customer level data. And second situation, when it comes to situation like where there is high compliance risk, wherein the content that you are creating or the content that you're presenting, or there are some sensitive topics that you are addressing to your particular customer or to your particular audience. Over there, it is very important that Amazon, doesn't allow or doesn't want to be there. Has to be an intensive use of AI over there. Like for me, how I understand this is like a useful default is if you can't safely explain or audit it, then it is better not to use AI in that particular scenario or situation. It is rather to rely on more your own knowledge or your own self. Ask your peers, talk to them, brainstorm with them, rather than putting everything on AI and just trying to find answers to your questions.
Mhm. And for some specific situations, it was, for example, when you created a case study or something else for with the client data. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Um, have you been
Yeah,
in
case
this?
study. I think I wanted to add something to the case study. It's very important because sometimes AI will pull information about a customer based on, I don't know, like stored information. So we always go back to a customer we are working with. So their numbers are like perfect. Like numbers can really break or make stock markets. So um,
Mm.
we have to be very careful, especially with vendors, customers, partners. Right? Like how do they want to be portrayed? How do they want to report their numbers? Like not everybody is comfortable sharing numbers, right? So case study is a
Mhm.
very good example. You can't rely on like AI completely for.
Mhm. Yeah, makes sense.
Or maybe add that in general, making like kind of echoing the same thing, making any sensitive decisions based off AI's work, it's a tricky thing. It's better not to do that because again, AI is a tool, so garbage in, garbage out, and sometimes I can give you an example. Like recently, we connected our Gong to AI to Python, and we analyzed 11,000 of sales calls. And based on these calls, we see some picture, but we know for sure that it's not true. So it's just we see this picture because our salespeople like shaping the conversation this way. While we know that in fact it should be different, and we have other signals from not from AI. So we did this with AI, but we did not use this eventually. So this is very
Mhm.
important to take into account.
So because of different prompts, it changed the truth a little bit, or it was.
No, it's not because of different prompts. It's more of like we have a base of 11,000 calls, and
Mhm.
then yes, we're asking AI to like just summarize these calls, right? So we have different segments. I mean, close one, POC, like whatever, any segments, or
Mhm.
like negative versus positive sentiment, and all these things. So we asked AI to summarize this, but AI is summarizing the actual content of these calls. And we know that these calls were shaped by the salespeople.
Mhm.
Salesperson, when he or she is having this
The
call,
questions we
like
ask, yeah.
leading it some
Mhm.
sort of way. So yes, we know that this is a summary, and the summary is correct, but we are not sure that this is the summary we want to, like the overall summary of 11,000 calls we need to take into account in the product marketing area.
Mhm.
So at least we need to take this into account.
Yeah. Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Maddie, have you been in these situations when you
Yeah,
decided not to?
I almost feel like sometimes it's funny working at a larger company. It's the answer is almost no until it's yes, because there is so many different tools out there, and I think especially in a highly regulated industry like healthcare, we have to be incredibly careful. I mean, when you guys were talking about customer information or patient data, like obviously there's HIPAA compliance and SOC 2 and all these different things. So it does really kind of hamstring us in terms of what we can use AI for in the first place. And also, I think in addition to this, even though it seemed like AI could really help on the sales and customer experience side of things, I think that having a white glove approach, especially with a high ticket solution that we're selling, I think it still requires a lot of humans to be involved at every step and to have a lot of QA and critical thinking. So, yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of areas that we have not fully integrated AI with. And right now, it's just sort of this like slow rollout, governance first approach, very measured. So that's kind of the direction.
Mhm. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you. And everyone says that AI saves time. Yeah, right. But how much exactly, in your personal experience? What do you think? How much time does it really save? Say, for example, during the day or a week or so.
Yeah, it's hard to quantify, but it definitely has made me faster. Like I mentioned earlier, I can iterate faster if I don't like something. I can generate like variants of it faster. Like I don't have to spend a lot of time in like two copies, creating three copies or four copies. Now I can like generate 10 variants, then decide, oh, this is the variant I like, or right. Like so, it's definitely made me faster, more efficient, I would say. Like I literally start with AI for my first draft, right? Like I fix my grammar with AI. I don't have to now manually like read through so many sentences, right? Like I do a lot of quick data analysis through AI. When I'm like sifting through like Alexei mentioned, right? Like 11,000 customer related line items in an Excel. 10 minutes and I have like my segregation. I know the patterns. I can figure out commonalities, right? If I were to say a very recent example, for again a product launch, I was trying to do some competitor benchmarking analysis. So typically, I remember before AI, it would be like analyzing social media platforms, analyzing competitors' web pages separately, then analyzing like customer feedback separately. Like now, I remember all I had to do, and again, like it's just because Amazon has this one Amazon Quick Suite tool, like just one tool, it pulls data from everywhere. All I had to do is ask question. That
Mm-hmm.
competitive
Yeah.
benchmarking, I had data in like 30-40 minutes. So it's saving me a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Saves hours. Yeah. Great
I mean,
example. Mm-hmm.
just to add on to the same scenario, when you're like running any social media or paid media campaign, and when you want to do competitor analysis, usually previously what used to happen is you go to a number of different websites, kind of look at competitor benchmarks, kind of see what is the kind of right CPC or CTR or CBR benchmark for a particular industry, and then you kind of base it according to that. But now, because of AI or because of Quickseat, what has happened is I don't want to go out and look at some other benchmark. I have my own company benchmark, and I just have to ask a question saying that if this is my campaign, if this is the intent of the campaign, and this is the kind of ideal customer profile, or this is the intent audience that I'm gonna market this towards, what should be the ideal benchmarks for all of these conversion metrics so that I have it in back of my mind before I launch the campaign. And it beautifully does it in like no time. So I would say, in terms of more data accuracy is only possible when you have such a level of sophistication wherein you are feeding only one particular data. Now what happens with general tools is that general tools have general information or general data, so it is very good for general day-to-day activities and saving time on general day-to-day activities. But you want to do one particular or specific task, it is much better to isolate the data, look at only one data, keep feeding it continuously so that it gives you very relevant and very useful information. So I think so that is where we do save a lot of time with all of these Amazon ATM tools.
Yeah, and I think now that we've spoken so much, I think one of the tool I would actually recommend marketers to try is Amazon Quick Suite, um, because it has definitely been a game changer, like Pat mentioned, right? Like I no more have to like go to different tools, different sources, everything in one place. Saves me a lot of time.
Mhm.
While you guys were speaking, I just went to ChatGPT that I'm using pretty heavily every day. Ask, hey, could you estimate how much time you saved me last year? And ChatGPT is saying that on average, based on what ChatGPT could estimate, it saved me 1 to 1.5 hours a day, which is 250 to 350 hours a year. So,
Yeah, it's a
like
lot.
a day a week, I think, roughly.
Interesting. I need to ask mine.
I mean, I would say that I wouldn't even be surprised, is just because the amount of low hanging fruits that I just pass on to an AI to just get it done with. I mean, it has become, because I used to waste a lot of time just to write an email, just to write, create a draft, or just respond to somebody's very data heavy question. Now what I just do is I just all these low hanging fruits, just pass it on to AI and have more dedicated work done from my end. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if AI is saving like one day in a week for me, for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But I think on the other hand, you see, like, let's imagine in Slack, there's a conversation in Slack, and I think all of us now doing that. Like, there's this question, you just go to ChatGPT or whatever you're using, like, hey, could you please just craft an answer? So it devalues a bit the answer itself. If in the past it was like this was like human answer, now you see that this is ChatGPT or something, and you're like, okay, you're answering with ChatGPT, so I will ask you the same.
Yeah. Maybe you wanted to add. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's very similar to other people's answers. Like it could be up to one day a week, probably. I mean, it's just crazy. I think too, I'm susceptible to over relying on it at this point because I will literally have a brain dump of ideas and be like, wait, I need to like say this to an executive. Can you edit this and make it sound better? So, just like little things like that. But yeah, definitely I would say that it probably saves me anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours, just really depends what I'm working on. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it depends how deep I need to go and, of course, like fact checking the AI too. So, but even with that, definitely a lot of time. And I think the biggest example could just be keyword research, honestly, like coming up with new keyword ideas. I mean, I can't imagine trying to do that manually now in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah, before it could take hours. Yeah. Now it's fast. Yeah, that's great. And a tricky question: does AI make you more competent in your work?
I would say yes and no. I think that I would say yes on the positive side, like understanding if I wanted to do research, understanding that information more quickly, having access to that knowledge that I may not otherwise have as easily. And it definitely makes me more effective. But at the same time, like I thought about this the other night and I'm like, it almost feels like critical thinking can become optional if you're not careful. Like taking the AI outputs at face value, especially knowing that hallucinations can still happen, I think is dangerous. So I think if you stay intentional about validation and accuracy and using your own human judgment, I think it can make you exponentially more competent and quickly be able to do things. But I think it almost makes critical thinking optional depending on what you're doing. So I would be careful a little bit.
Yeah.
I think agree completely with Madison, but then I think it's making me competent in a very different way, like, using AI. So my angle is, now that I save a lot of time with my day-to-day stuff, I can upskill in my product, right? Like, tech is changing every day. Alexi knows, like, Kubernetes, like, it's hard to keep up with the way the whole cloud native, the field I'm in is changing. Like, so now I spend a lot of time upskilling about the product side of things, right? Because AI is taking care of a lot of these, like, day-to-day stuff that I was working with. So it's making me competent, or I would say, helping me, upskill in other areas as well. So it's a plus point for me,
Mm-hmm.
personally.
Mm-hmm. I also like how AI can explain some technical stuff, some very complicated technical questions. Yeah, it can answer it very easily, and you can understand something that was too hard to figure it out before. Yeah. Um, so, Part or Alexei, would you like to add something?
I mean, I would say that for me in my current role, AI has increased the range of the amount of work I can get done in a particular given time. Like the amount of time I can do multiple different tasks in a given day has, kind of increased, because of course there is saving time. There is one task doesn't take like 4 3 4 hours, rather it takes like maybe 30 minutes, right? So over
Yeah.
there is definitely where
Yeah,
there
I'm
is.
so sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to interrupt you a little bit because yeah, of course it saves time, but does it make you more competent in
Yeah.
some way? Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it does save time and makes me competent enough to kind of get things done in a much quicker fashion. If I have to be more consistent, and of course, consistency kind of becomes more important when you have the right kind of prompts that you can rinse and repeat. So you have to take that effort to kind of have your own prompt playbook, wherein if you are doing certain tasks in a certain given week on a repeated fashion, so it will make you competent enough if you have some playbook that you go back and refer to every single time when you're doing that task. But having said that, one thing is AI can raise the floor, like, it can elevate you, but it cannot completely define what good means, because at the end of the day, what is good at your job, or what is good at you delivering results, is something only you can determine. So I think so there is where we need to have a very clear definition or a clear gap in terms of how much elevation are we getting through use of AI versus how can we define good by our own work. How much time can I invest in what work to make myself more, competent in the current work that I'm doing, or in the current role that I'm
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. And Alexei?
Yeah, I would agree with all the guys said. So yes, AI is doing us more competent, but on the other hand, just to say something, on the other hand, I think AI, like everyone now, can produce good-looking content. As Madison said, and all of us are guilty of this. Like you're doing any report or whatever for stakeholders, and like, okay, there's just one bullet point. I need more. Hey, ChatGPT, or I don't know, you're interviewing someone, and you see that this assignment was done with AI. You just can see it. So this thing, and a bit changes the balance between like excellent, like between the rock stars in marketing and just kind of average people without being offensive. But yeah, I think it's important just to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And the last question for today is about the future. How do you think will our marketing, B2B marketing teams change with AI? So let's just think about how our marketing will look like in the future. What do you think?
I think definitely there is change. We, like now in our conversations, if you see, like, people have stopped talking about SEO. It's all AEO right now, answer engine optimization. As marketers, and although I'm a PMM, product marketing manager, I still have the marketer in me. Now I have to adapt to these new tools because we are no more competing for page views, right? Like people don't even go to your web pages anymore. Now I am going to compete for like how is my company's or my products information going to be placed in these LLMs, right? Like so focusing on intent based content, like ensuring you provide specific answers, very specific details in your blogs, in any documents, because if you don't do it, AI is going to pick some opinionated pieces from, somewhere, some like, that you think wouldn't work for your product, right? Um, so upskilling again in this, how to deal with this answer engine optimization or generative engine optimization era becomes important for future. And I don't know, in 5 years there might be something else. But at this point, that is what I see. That's where B2B marketing is moving, right? Like more intent based stuff, be very specific, give detailed information, because people no more go to your web pages. They just ask a question and they get answer right, wrong, depends on how you have configured it. So that's one aspect I'm seeing in terms of like future for B2B marketing.
I would maybe generalize this to say
Mhm.
that if in the past we were doing websites for people, now we're doing websites for LLMs. And the entire buyer journey is moving from Google websites, like from your side to LLM. Like if in the past we were creating top funnel blogs, mid funnel blogs, and like bottom funnel blogs, now the whole journey happens within ChatGPT. Like, hey, I have this problem. What can I do? Then ChatGPT gives you the like list of answers. What kind of tool can I use for that? And then the list of tools. So you should be there. That's why yes, it's like changing a lot actually. Uh, we just need to adopt and make us be listed there somehow. There are some techniques, and let's try to research and then upskill there.
Yeah, and then I also like, as we do, like as a marketer, I think basics of marketing, right? Like understanding human psychology, understanding your ICP, their jobs to be done, like their problems, their pain points, all these things still don't change, right? Like you still
Yeah.
have to understand this very deeply about a consumer you're selling to or a user you're selling to. And I don't see AI doing a very good job, right? Like as a marketer, every marketer uses different like different frameworks. I use my own frameworks when I like promote something, right? But like all those things still remain the same. I don't think AI is there where it can like literally like replicate how you think about the problem, how you want to promote your service. So like that understanding those core for marketing folks is um, still going to be there. I don't think AI will replace that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're still selling to humans. So,
Yes.
Yeah. For now.
yeah,
Maybe.
because if I have to, then it will go to AI. It's like, hey, could you please buy this thing for me? And then AI will buy all of the tools that you need down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in the future, AI will make decisions on purchase. Yeah, we'll see. So, Parth or
Yeah.
Mehdi, would you like to? Yeah. Say.
I mean, I would
Mhm.
say one of the big shifts that I do see coming in B2B as a marketer is number one is what is the differentiator? Because nowadays everybody is using AI, right? So it would be very important for us to produce a lot of content which has original point of view, which has very strong evidence, which kind of gives unique examples and clear positioning. And I think so that will become more important is because everybody now, even in this panel as well, we know to differentiate which is an AI answer and which is a human answer, right? So our eyeballs are kind of catching the very significant difference between what is an AI and what is not. So I think so original point of view will definitely become something which is very important, especially when it comes to B2B, because what I feel is in B2C, there can be a lot more integration even on the customer side as well, wherein even the customer is an AI and the product is an AI and who is promoting is also an AI. But when it comes to B2B enterprise, this kind of becoming will be much more like there will be a lot of more friction to actually kind of completely convert everything into an AI world in the B2B space, because at the end of the day, there would be a lot of fluctuation when it comes to price points on a B2B scale. So that is one thing that I feel would be very important, or the learning curve has to be passed on, especially when we look at ABM messaging. It will kind of be like how I can test different ABM messaging for different industries. That is something that would become very easy to personalize based on each account base. So if, whether I have a particular client, how do I message that particular client? How do I make sure that account has briefs done in a more tailored fashion? How can I tailor my landing pages in a much more efficient way for that particular industry? Like, let's say, for example, it's a medical industry or a tech industry or automotive industry. I can tailor and create multiple different funnel stage journeys. That would become more important, or that would become more easier moving forward in B2B. But at the end of the day, what I feel is, one, measurement. Second is having original point of view, and third is personalization. All of these things kind of will be the decision factors for anybody who is converting into a potential customer. And marketers do need to really think about how we can kind of pivot ourselves or make ourselves competent enough to create journeys around this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, and human work will become luxury.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to answer this question. I mean, I think what was said about user generated content and authenticity really stands out to me, especially if LLMs are scraping sites like Reddit, for example. I think that it's really important to, be human in a world where the internet is now going to be increasingly oversaturated with AI generated content. So, being able to differentiate yourself and, really appeal to authenticity. And then, yeah, LLM visibility is everything. So, leveraging different strategies to appear in, the output whenever someone asks a question. Like in our business, if someone's searching for AI scribes for dermatology, like we pretty much show up now. And I think that is a lot to do with the fundamental marketing work we put in on the SEO and geo front, earned media, and different avenues like that to make sure that we are visible in LLMs. So yeah, I think that's kind of the name of the game at this point. But yeah, and then I would also say the point on personalization, I think that's one that we need to work on at our company as well, is, just really using AI to make everything as personalized as possible for that user and their intent, and even, their job title, the company they come from, like using all these data points to personalize their experience.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. I especially loved the your idea about being human, being authentic. Yeah, it's very important in the era of AI. And thank you so much to all of our amazing experts, amazing speakers for sharing your expertise. It's very practical and it's bright, and I think that it can inspire marketers, and both we could just use something. So it's very practical, very useful. So thank you so much for your time and for your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.